I'm talking about an ocean of this stuff.
There are two kinds of heist. Those where the guys get away with it, and those that leave witnesses.
Out-burying bodies.
Robbing a train.
Each week we break down another Breaking Bad episode in order. This week it's Season 5, Episode 5, Dead Freight. I've got 22 details you might not know. Even though we have no idea who this is or what this is about, the episode does a great job of making us forget all about it until the end. Samuel Webb, the kid who plays Drew Sharp, rode motocross and once had a pet tarantula in real life, so this was perfect casting. You can hear a train honking in the distance. Maybe this boy is going to go check it out. Marie's wearing all yellow in this old photo.
If she showed up dressed all in yellow one day, we'd have known
things have gone south.
Let's come back to this in episode 8 when she does it again.
Listen, I'm sorry to drop in on you out of the blue. No, it's a bad time. I could...
Steve, would you mind if... I've got to run something by Hank.
I'm sure it wasn't intentional, but here's the move of someone who wants their watch to be noticed.
Jesus, Walt.
We don't normally see this door on the opposite side of Hank's office. I feel like that's an oversight because it's super weird.
New car, new watch. You deserve to treat yourself. So, how's Sky?
She went to work this morning.
What about the whole idea of talking to somebody?
She already found someone. Yeah, Peter, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his last name.
Gould, perhaps? The timing of his name here was intentional.
He's supposed to be top-notch.
George is directing his first and only episode. Season 5 later gives writers Tom Schnauz and Sam Catlin the chance to direct their first episodes as well.
Skyler doesn't love me anymore. She says that I'm a bad influence on the kids. She thinks I'm a bad father.
This is again great manipulation by Walt, but since it's all true, I guess he doesn't really have to act here.
I'm not an expert on parenting or anything, but from where I'm sitting, I just don't see it.
Did Walt count on Hank doing this? Because closing the blinds definitely helped.
Oh, I made mistakes, you know.
Listen, I'm gonna get a coffee. You want a coffee?
Hank, I'm sorry.
No.
This is the episode with
A-Sack Schrader.
from Placeboing's famous mix, but Hank makes a lot of musical noises in this episode.
A-Sack Schrader. A-Sack Schrader. All right, just take them.
The fact that Walt wastes a few precious seconds to collect himself is evidence that his emotions were real. This lamp appears in The Sopranos, also in a storyline related to a bug. If Hank also used cream and sugar, Walt would have had a little more time.
You two are really great together.
Hey, take it from me, buddy. So he's darkest just before the dawn.
Take it from him. Maybe he's referring to this.
I made a love connection. Mouth love.
All right, Lydia. My friends here don't know you like I do, so they are very kindly giving you one last chance. There's your script. I'm gonna dial Agent Schrader on your line here. If you yell for help, try to give the man some kind of coded message, I'm gonna pull out my pistol, and I am going to shoot you in the head. Look at me, not at them.
Don't look at him, you look at me.
If you make Schrader suspicious...
You'll pull out your gun and shoot me.
That's a pistol, not a gun. I'm expecting precision here.
ASAC's office?
Hi, Lydia Rodart-Quayle, calling for Agent Schrader.
Hank, Lydia Rodart-Quayle on line 1?
There seems to be an implicit, haha, she has a fancy name.
Hank Schrader.
With lots of squinting, I think I was able to read the whole script.
I noticed a device on the bottom of one of our barrels of methylamine.
A device?
It looks to me like some kind of a tracking device or a GPS. I was just wondering if maybe your people put it there. Not that it's any of my business, but the last thing I want to do is interfere with a law enforcement operation or a sting. Maybe you could give me some guidance?
I'll look into it and get back to you.
Yeah, all right, sure thing.
Hey, Gomey, come here, would you?
You don't know anything about GPS trackers on a methylamine barrel, do you?
This laptop has the same silly taskbar that Skyler's laptop had, and calendar is misspelled.
No, nobody from my team planted anything. Why?
This was not me. I swear to God.
Sounds like she's telling the truth to me.
She has a gun to her head, kid. Everyone sounds like Meryl Streep with a gun to their head.
Ah, that explains Walt's good acting.
I did not do this! Shut up!
Hey, Errol, please tell me you guys didn't do something as lame brain as put a GPS tracker on the outside of a barrel of methylamine.
Who's asking? Did someone find him?
Jesus, are you shitting me?
You didn't have time to go in there with hazard suits, Hank. They were about to ship.
And next time, a little communication first, all right?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
The writers were originally going to have Lydia be the one who planted the tracker, but she'd still convince them to keep her alive because of her methylamine tip.
She's a loose cannon. I am telling you, she will turn a gun or a badge on us the first chance she gets. The woman put a hit out on me.
You want to talk methylamine? Then tell your partner to stop threatening me.
You can't even get us a single barrel.
Who said anything about barrels? I'm talking about an ocean of this stuff.
Why put the hit on Mike?
I gave him a list of names, but instead of handling it, he's protecting them, so I hired someone else. At that point, there was no option but to add Mike to the list.
There's a classic shot where the map is temporarily clear.
On a Wednesday, a freight train leaves the port of Long Beach, loaded with industrial chemicals. There's a remote 3-mile stretch here. This is dark territory. It's a dead zone.
This is a real thing, although maybe the train would have a satellite phone as a workaround. They would have named this episode Dark Territory, but there's already a movie with that name. Now you might be saying, hold on, that didn't stop them from using Face Off. The difference is that this movie is also about a train and the same kind of dark territory. And look who's in that movie.
Loco secured.
Dead Freight is a bit of an odd name because it refers to the empty space in train cars, although they do partially empty one in this episode.
Which tanker car is which? I can't believe that they would advertise their contents.
A final manifest gets uploaded to my company's server. I'll have it for you sometime between midnight and 2 a.m.
You know what this means, Doug? We've got to off the crew. How many in the crew?
Just 2. An engineer and a conductor.
Can we just tie them up or something?
I have done this long enough to know that there are 2 kinds of heist. Those where the guys get away with it, and those that leave witnesses.
That's intentional foreshadowing.
Can you say, my name is Asac Schrader. You can go fuck yourself.
Asac Schrader.
If those turn out to be her first words, I will beat you with my shoe.
Hey, that better be something from a boob instead of some fake soy crap.
Yeah.
What about Emo McGee?
That might also be a good name for a sequel. Wait, are those her first words? Why isn't anyone celebrating? Marie had just said,
If those turn out to be her first words, I will beat you with my shoe.
Hey, I picked up Heat on Blu-ray. You want to watch it with me later? No?
Heat is a movie about a group of guys pulling off a heist, and one of them is kicked out of the group after he kills a guard unnecessarily. But the Blu-ray hadn't come out until 2 months after this took place.
You can keep talking about me now.
We do it the old-fashioned way.
Switch back to a pseudocode.
They could synthesize their own methylamine, but chemistry in the Breaking Bad universe is a little different.
Methylamine is the one precursor ingredient to the P2P method of cooking that is, at least in our world of Breaking Bad, the hardest to procure.
We'd be making a fraction of the profit.
Making less money is better than making nothing.
Why is making nothing not an option?
That's hypocritical coming from
Walter? Let me tell you why. It's because you're 9 guys in lockup, right?
This is a lot like the scene when Jesse comes up with the magnets idea.
What you're telling me, Walter, is you want to do this heist, even if it means killing a couple of innocent men.
The way it's shot, and the way Jesse comes up with a plan that stops his 2 dads from arguing.
What if we can rip off that train and no one ever knows it got robbed?
800, 814. It's perfect. We do it here. We do it right here.
The train has 12 cars, and they won't know which one will have the methylamine until Lydia gets the manifest the night before. I was wondering if their hoses would be long enough, or what they would do if the methylamine was right behind the engine. But it turns out that in real life, the chemicals would always be at least 6 cars back from the engine, so they must have known the methylamine would be in range. This overhead shot must be somewhere else, but it's funny that we're supposed to believe that they replanted these bushes near the tank openings.
I get why we want the tank for the methylamine, but why this other one for the water?
Jesse, it's your idea. You want to fill him in?
It's all about the weight, yo.
Why does nobody ever quote this line?
The whole thing relies on us replacing the weight of methylamine we steal with the same weight in water. No one, other than us, can ever know that this robbery went down. Nobody. Got it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
We will be removing 1,000 gallons of methylamine from the tanker car, but replacing it with about 9/10 of that volume in water. Let's make that an even 920 to account for spillage.
Spillage?
And whatever will remain in the hose.
Yeah, but won't they figure out they got robbed anyway on account of getting watered down methylamine?
They will blame China.
You guys thought of everything.
Maybe not everything.
I'm staying. That's all I have to say.
What's going on?
Got what you wanted, that's what.
Are you seriously kicking me out of my own house?
This is your house as much as it is ours. But your mom and I need some time alone, and you know that.
Give me the exact reason, or I'm not going anywhere.
Because we're your parents and you're our child. That's reason enough. Now please do as I ask.
I won't change my mind about you.
Well, I don't accept that. You're my wife.
I'm not your wife. I'm your hostage. The kids will stay at Hank and Marie's. They have a chance of being safe.
Like you've seen too many movies.
You told me that a man held a gun to your head. You said it like it was a point of pride. There's nothing you can say that'll convince me there won't come a day that somebody will knock on that door looking to harm you or me or all of us.
She's not wrong, except about the knocking part.
Out burying bodies?
Robbing a train.
That's a much better line than "We don't bury bodies, Skyler, we dissolve them in acid." They shot this scene when filming episode 2 because they could only be at this house once. Lydia's definitely cut out here against a replacement background. This episode had the most visual effects so far and was the most expensive so far.
I've got it.
The train was real, but they composited a lot of shots together and they had to remove a lot of houses, cell towers, and vehicles in the distance. Bill Burr really drove the truck here, and that bird was really there. They also needed to speed up the train footage because it could only go 8 miles per hour with all the cars they attached to it and having to go uphill. To further sell the speed illusion, outside the windows is old stock footage from Sony-owned movies.
Hey, Wallace, up ahead!
Here's one of the composited shots as he's obviously not standing in front of an oncoming train. Might I suggest a different shot?
Go, go, go. Jesus, thank God you guys weren't asleep at the switch. Talk about bum luck.
What's the trouble with it?
It's in there or something.
You think?
Yeah.
Pretty good bet. Now, go, go, go. We're on. Go!
Wanna get in there, give it a whirl? All right, let me give it a try.
That switch must cut power to the fuel pump.
Then we all pushed.
Coming?
So far, so good. Give me a status.
We're at 300 gallons. Water is going. Now!
Waiting this long to start the water helps to keep it out of the methylamine that they're draining from the bottom, despite the water being slightly heavier. Although, they should need to pump water for quite a bit after they're done siphoning methylamine, unless pumping uphill is really faster than gravity. But at the end, they stop the water only 10 seconds after.
You did remember to put it in neutral, right? Yeah, man, give me a little credit.
I'm assuming he did not. I can't figure out why the more logo is upside down relative to the counter. Supposedly these springs should be more compressed if there were really 24,000 gallons of methylamine in here. I'm trusting Potawatomi Ding Dong on this one.
The hell of a place to break down.
Hey, you know anything about engines?
Not a whole lot. Push off the tracks at least.
Gee, man, I wouldn't want you to mess up your ride.
I'll go slow.
You screw up your nice shiny bumper.
Hey, we're running late because of you, buddy. Man said it was no problem.
Walter, you've got a good Samaritan on the seat. You pull your guys off that train right now.
We're not done yet.
We're not done yet.
The track is clear, Walter. I said get out of there.
Thank you, mister. Supplies. Glad we can work that out.
Walter, they are back in the locomotive. If you do not abort right now, you are gonna get us all busted.
We're hearing railroad crossing bells, but this crossing doesn't seem to have them. Walt's misinterpreting the full measure idea here, but it's also like his stubbornness at the end of the magnet cable.
Mr. White, let's go. Hang on. Hey! Hold it!
No! Jesse and Todd are putting new security seals on the openings, but tampering would be noticed if the numbers are different. Maybe Lydia's manifest had the security tag numbers as well? Here's one of many composited shots with Jesse and the train. This is a stuntman who looks a lot like Todd, so much so that they even showed him in this close-up. They combined these two shots of the train and Jesse, although at the very beginning they didn't bother showing pieces of him that would have shown through the gaps. This shot is real, although the long lens makes the train appear closer than it is. Celebrate, I guess, but do you realize your stubbornness almost got Jesse pancaked by a train? Because the motor is still running, you can't hear if a dirt bike is approaching. And the four amigos lived happily ever... Oh wait, there's more.
No! No! No!
That's some pretty noticeable breathing back there, but I suppose he might not be dead yet, although he'll soon become dead freight in the truck Kubi was driving. I don't know if it's still there, but the real-life location has this graffiti. Just one missing film artifact that I was able to verify anyway.
Poor performance indeed, it makes Next Gen our 6-month members.
Congratulations on earning your 6-month membership badge from YouTube. Poor Performance Indeed popped up on the radar in ABQ, and Makes Next Gen, who has been so generous with super thanks, first appeared on the brand new Superlab floor in Moss. Thank you so so much. Say hi to the new members: Sleepy Brownie, Ty, Bonesaws Ready 47, Fred MK 27, Scott Gnome, Nathan for the Lulz, Very Surreal, Lorena, Eggplant, Skatebush Media, Jagob. Oh hey, I just realized that guy owes me $20. Hayden, AS, Zunko 23, Yannick, Florian Gilabert, Holiday Penguin, Derek Russell, Willius 19, Pizza Mim 2, 70, Juan Pablo T, Casper Fluff, Jabba X, Scott, The Cool Bobster, H7HJ59FH3F, Not a Real Name, The Kaiser Warriors, Tracer, Nickus, Marcos, XDJSS, and Jasenberg. Time to repronounce Trunold, LLL, Garo, and J-Man Space. Surpassing 600 members means I was able to add the Kim emoji. We're now in the phase where YouTube only gives me another emoji for every 100 members, so it might be a while before I can try the Skinny Pete exit emoji. For channel members that join the Discord server by connecting your YouTube account, these custom emotes will be there as well. Next week, Jesse stays for dinner, reuniting with Skyler for the first time since Season 1, Episode 2.
You don't need to...
Oh, baby, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You know, if this goes right, you could say that we'll be pulling off the biggest train robbery in history.
How about Jesse James?
Please.
His biggest train robbery was in 1873, $3,000. Adjusted for inflation, that's just 57 grand.
1 gallon of 40% aqueous methylamine solution will yield 7.4 pounds of product. Times 1,000 gallons at $40,000 per pound comes to $296 million.
I can feel it.
Ready?